Of all the auto brands on the road today, only one has been named the best auto brand for 6 straight years. That brand is Mazda. Come shop and save on the award-winning lineup of new Mazdas right now at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Welcome to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours in this COVID-19 world that we all live in, and of course the new lurch to the left that all of America is witnessing as we speak. Speaking of, many of us conservatives, those on the right, knew that with the advent of the Biden administration, that the left was going to desperately try to steer this country far left. And to their credit, it didn't take long for them to launch full bore in that direction. This week, Tuesday of this week, the New York the New York Times, one of the most liberal rags out there, published an essay detailing a range of recommendations for the Biden administration to fix the, quote, reality crisis in America. These recommendations are to help de-radicalize citizens, including appointing a reality czar and truth commission. You heard me right. A reality czar. In other words, someone from the government to tell us what is reality and what is not. And a group of folks from the government to set up a truth commission. In other words, you gonna believe me or your lying eyes? The essay was written by technology columnist Kevin Roose, who accuses, quote, millions of Americans of embracing hoaxes, lies, and collective delusions. He goes on in this essay to write, quote, "I worry that unless the Biden administration treats conspiracy theories and disinformation as the urgent threats they are, our parallel universes will only drift further apart, and the potential for violent unrest and civic dysfunction will only grow." He then states that he contacted several experts seeking what actions the Biden administration could take, quote, "to help fix our truth-challenged information ecosystem, or at least prevent it from getting any worse." Joan Donovan, research director at Harvard University's Shorenstein Center on Media, Politics, and Public Policy, suggested that the Biden administration set up a truth commission led by those familiar with extremist factions, including white supremacist groups and far-right militias behind the January 6th Capitol riot, in order to investigate the event. He describes, Mr. Donovan does, such an effort as one similar to the 9/11 Commission. Now, let's stop right there. How many people do you know that read the 9/11 Commission report and believe it? Show of hands. That's what I thought. Not many. But this clown thinks we need Biden to appoint a commission on truth. You know what's most scary about this? When you appoint a reality czar and a truth commission, the implication here is if you don't subscribe to this reality, if you don't subscribe to what the government then deems as the truth, there will be penalties involved. Talk about a disconnect. And of course, in the article, they also use the words deprogramming individuals. If you are particularly a Democrat, this should bother you to no end. Put aside, if you will, liberals, progressives, for the moment, the fact that they are targeting those on the other side of your ideological spectrum. Forget about that for a moment. And consider this, and I've told you this ad nauseum. What you are seeing now is the natural course of events in this country. We have, politically, a pendulum. It swings from one end to the other. Think back. The very first years of the Obama administration, Democrats controlled the House, the Senate, and the White House. Wasn't long before the pendulum swung back in the opposite direction. Republicans then were in control. The pendulum has now swung back in the opposite direction. The point being, a pendulum does not stay in one direction long. As soon as all that energy has been expended and the external force, gravity, kicks in, that puppy swings back in the opposite direction. So the folks that you voted for, liberals, progressives, Democrats, who are pushing this sort of unconstitutional, anti-American crap, they're going to put this in place. And when that pendulum swings back to the right, guess who then will be subjected to the reality czar and the truth commission? Yep, you. As an American, forget about political ideology, political affiliation, political leanings. This is about America. And rest assured, no man is an island. That pendulum invariably is going to swing back in the opposite direction. Do you, Democrat, Republican, Independent, black, white, Asian, Latino, gay, straight, religious, agnostic, atheist, do you really want to live in a society where it's the government that tells you what is reality? Do you really want to live in a society where truth is dictated by a government commission? Let me tell you something. Election night, I stayed up and watched when they stopped counting the votes. I watched when they taped up the windows, covered the windows where the votes were counted after they kicked out the Republican observers. That's reality. And I don't need the damn government to tell me otherwise. That's reality. But we need a reality czar. We need a truth commission. How many of y'all believe the Kennedy assassination report put out by the government? That's what I thought. How many of y'all believe Hillary Clinton wiped her server with a cloth and 30,000 emails disappeared? That's what I thought. And these are the people you want to appoint a czar to tell you what reality is? These are the people that you will let determine what truth is? Democrats are probably at this point, if you're honest with yourself, if you understand the parameters set down by the Constitution, and if you truly appreciate the freedoms and liberties afforded us in this country, you are probably asking yourself, is this what I voted for? May not be what you voted for, but it's what you're about to get. If you decide to sit silent. Evil flourishes when good men do nothing. Now, if you think this is the extent of what the left is attempting to do, my friend, you are sorely, sorely mistaken. Show of hands. How many of y'all think it's fair for boys to compete against girls in girl sports? I'm looking through your TV. I don't see a single hand that goes up. Well, that's what's coming, courtesy of the Biden administration. We'll talk about that next when we continue the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS
garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Team Honda wants to thank you for once again making us Louisiana's #1 new car dealer by offering you never-before-seen savings. For the first time ever, get 0% financing up to 60 months on some of your favorite Honda models. Get thousands in savings right now at Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Balello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Balello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, we saw this start not so very long ago, where the left has attempted to make mainstream the gender bathroom issue. Well, depending on what you identify as, you should have the right to use whatever bathroom you see fit. If you're a boy and you identify as being a girl, then use the girl's bathroom. This week, Joe Biden's education secretary nominee went through the confirmation hearings process. And Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky challenged him on his statement that, quote, it's appropriate to allow boys to compete in girls' sports. Senator Paul, exasperated by the refusal of Miguel Cardona to directly answer the question, do you think that's fair? Eventually ended up asking him, what planet are you from? I probably would have worded it a little more harshly, but I guess that's why I'm not in Congress. The senator, Rand Paul, asked Miguel Cardona if he thinks it's fair to allow boys claiming to be transgender to participate in girls' sports, and ask him about how it would affect girls competing in these athletic events. His response, quote, "I think it's appropriate. It is the legal responsibility of schools to provide opportunities for students to participate in activities, and this includes students who are transgender." Senator Paul also posed the question whether or not he would enforce the Trump administration's Office for Civil Rights rule stating that boys cannot compete with girls in sports. Cardona, by the way, served as the education commissioner in Connecticut. His response, quote, "If confirmed, it's my responsibility and my privilege to make sure we're following the civil rights of all students, and that includes activities that they may engage in high school athletics." The retort, what do you think in general about boys running in girls' track meets like they've been doing in Connecticut? Quote, "I think it's critically important that, pause, education systems and educators respect the rights of all students, including students who are transgender, and that they are afforded the opportunities that every other student has to participate in extracurricular activities." You notice what the left always does here? In an effort to be inclusive, you run roughshod over the rights of someone else. In the state of Connecticut, where this guy is from, girls have boys who identify as girls running in the track meets. And as you might imagine, it's no contest at all. As a result, the majority of state titles are won by boys who identify as girls. So girls are denied the opportunity fairly to win state championships. They end up losing out on scholarships. Their rights are being trampled by folks on the left that say, well, we've got a responsibility to be sure that, all kids are able to participate in extracurricular activities. So you know what's coming next, right? I mean, if you follow the logical progression of all of this, why even have girls' sports or boys' sports? Why even have them? If you're going to have boys competing in girl sports, what's the logic behind even having two separate categories of sports? The left, obviously, has become particularly emboldened in attempting to shove insanity down the throats of the American public. Of course, now, this is pretty much just a natural outgrowth of what we've already seen. If you're a boy and you think you're a girl, then you should be able to use the girls' bathroom. So it's only natural that if you're a boy who thinks he's a girl, you should be able to compete against other girls running track or swimming or whatever. If it weren't so totally, absolutely insane. It might be funny. Then again, probably not. And they wonder why so many people are abandoning the public school system. They wonder why so many people gravitate towards private schools. They wonder why so many people have opted now for home schooling. It is amazing to me how, particularly in education, we focus so much on things that have absolutely nothing to do with education. For example, right here in Baton Rouge, announced recently this new effort to put books on diversity and inclusion in every public elementary school in Baton Rouge. Now, never mind the fact that just about every public elementary school class in East Baton Rouge Parish is majority black. Never mind that. But here's the rub. I shared this with you just this week. The latest numbers for kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and third grade in the state of Louisiana shows that in all four categories, half or more than half of the students in kindergarten, first, second, and third grades cannot read at grade level. Now, I will never claim to be the brightest bulb in the chandelier. I will never claim to be an Einstein. But in my way of thinking, what good is putting books on diversity and inclusion in every single elementary school if over half of them can't read it anyway? Let that sink in. Over half of them can't read it anyway. Well, maybe you could take the third graders and let them read the kindergarten book, since over half of them don't read at a third grade level anyway. Maybe you can take the second graders and give them the first grade book on diversity and inclusion, since half of them can't read on the second grade level anyway. Would you not be better served spending the time, energy, and effort on getting the over half of kindergartners, first, second, and third graders up to their expected reading level? If you can't read, you can't learn. If you can't learn, you can't earn. Of course, now, you don't have to be able to read all that well to ask, you want fries with that? And these people are the ones in charge. All right, bottom of the hour break. Get your tinfoil out. Get your hat ready. Get your cap. Wrap it up in tinfoil. Got a doozy coming for you next. And it's from right next door in the great state of Texas. That's up next, right here on the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Jaguar Nation, we need your help in masking up Louisiana.
Masks help us slow the spread of COVID-19.
During this time, we must continue to wear a mask. Wash your hands and practice social distancing.
It's important that we continue to abide by the CDC's guidelines to stop the spread.
Jaguar Nation, we challenge you to mask up.
Go Jags!
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Hopefully by now you have run to the kitchen and got your big roll of Reynolds wrap, and you have wrapped your hat, your cap, whatnot, and have it planted firmly on your head for this segment. And heavy duty Reynolds wrap. Yeah, don't get the regular thin kind. You need the heavy duty for this. You know, we conservatives hold near and dear our right to bear arms. The Second Amendment is one of the ones that conservatives in particular are more zealous when it comes to guarding, primarily because the founding fathers in their wisdom understood that an armed populace, nothing gets more respect from those we elect to serve us than an armed populace. Not to mention the pursuit of happiness, the ability to protect and be secure in one's persons, papers, and things, many times comes down to self-defense. And of course, you've heard from those on the left ad nauseum, man, ain't nobody trying to take your guns, and that's conspiracy theory, yada yada, blah blah blah. You've heard it. Well, right next door from the great state of Texas, the Lone Star State, United States Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, now that ought to tell you all you need to know to start with, is proposing House Resolution 127. This bill, if passed into law by Congress, would establish a public registry of firearms and ammunition. The bill reads in part, the Attorney General, through the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, shall establish a system for licensing the possession of firearms or ammunition in the United States and for the registration with the Bureau of each firearm present in the United States. B, firearm registration system. Number 1, required information. Under the firearm registration system, the owner of a firearm shall transmit to the Bureau the make, model, and serial number of the firearm, the identity of the owner of the firearm, the date the firearm was acquired by the owner, and where the firearm is or will be stored. A notice specifying the identity of any person to whom and any period of time during which the firearm will be loaned to the person. Deadline for supplying information. The transmission required by paragraph 1 shall be made, A, in the case of a firearm acquired before the effective date of this section, within 3 months after the effective date of this section, or B, in the case of a firearm acquired on or after the effective date, on the date the owner acquires the firearm. So in other words, any firearm already purchased, in the process of being purchased, future purchase, you will be required, if this becomes law, to give the information, your name, location, make, model, serial number of the firearm, and where it is stored in your home. Oh, but it gets better. It gets better. It also reads, does this law, the Attorney General shall make the contents of the database accessible to all members of the public, all federal, state, and local law enforcement authorities, all branches of the United States Armed Forces, and all state and local governments as defined by the Bureau. Question, before I show you how it gets even better. Since when did it become the United States military's business, or the city parish's business, what make, model, and serial number of your firearm and where it's kept in your home? Since when did that become their business? Oh, but it gets even better. Psychological evaluation. Check this out. House Resolution 127 states, a psychological evaluation is conducted in accordance with this paragraph if A, the evaluation is conducted in compliance with such standards as shall be established by the Attorney General. B, the evaluation is conducted by a licensed psychologist approved by the Attorney General. C, as deemed necessary by the licensed psychologist involved, the evaluation included a psychological evaluation of other members of the household in which the individual resides, and D, as part of the psychological evaluation, the licensed psychologist interviewed any spouse of the individual, any former spouse of the individual, and at least 2 other persons who are a member of the family or an associate of the individual to further determine the state of the mental, emotional, and relational stability of the individual in relation to firearms. Now, who in their right freaking mind thinks a good barometer to violate someone's constitutional rights is to go and talk to the ex-wife or the ex-husband? Who in their right mind thinks you will get an accurate picture? I mean, what could go wrong? Who could possibly have an axe to grind? Who could possibly want to get back at their ex by telling somebody, oh, he crazy. You you better not let her have no gun. That woman crazy. What could possibly go wrong? Who could potentially lie? Now, what may be most insulting out of this, of all the people on the planet, of all the people in America who should know up front how unconstitutional this would be, you would think it'd be a freaking member of Congress. Of course, now this is Representative Sheila Jackson Lee. It ain't the first time she's come up with some jackass legislation, and it probably not going to be the last. Who in their right mind would not know how unconstitutional this is, much less a member of Congress? But this is how they operate, y'all. She probably knows. Well, in her demented state, God only knows. She may think it's solid. But what they do is, we're going to throw a whole bunch of crap against the wall and let's see what sticks. See, politics, for those of y'all that don't know, has been famously characterized as the art of compromise. So what you do is, you write a bill, you fill it with all sorts of unconstitutional stuff. And when you're called on it, you say, okay, all right, well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to rewrite the bill, and we're going to take this part out, okay? Hi, I'm here from the government, and I'm here to help keep you safe. But what you're proposing is unconstitutional. Hi, I rewrote the bill, and we took that part out. That's how it starts. You throw a whole lot of crap up against the wall and see what sticks. Then you can pick a little bit from here, a little bit from there, a little bit from over yonder. And the next thing you know, we end up asking ourselves, how in God's name did we end up here? Of all the people to propose something so blatantly unconstitutional, a freaking sitting member of Congress. I have yet to figure out what part of shall not be infringed do you not understand? Of course, now, I'm also supposed to believe he stayed in his basement the whole time and Joe Biden got 80 million votes. Wink, wink. You can't make this stuff up. Final break of today's show. We come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and we wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
We're making 2021 the year of savings, and it starts right now at Team Toyota. Come get a new 21 Corolla for just $189 a month, or get a 20 Camry for just $19,995. It's a year full of savings starting right now, right here at Team Toyota.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. It is our final show for the week, and I don't want to end on a negative or a down note. So I thought I'd pass along a couple of stories that I ran across that are just absolute gold as far as humor is concerned. Of course, now the two individuals in these respective stories may not quite look at it that way. You know, we often talk about the new catchphrases, buzzwords that have become a part of the American lexicon. It's a part of our jargon now. And porch pirates is one that's really become popular as of late. What was it, Marty, about maybe in the last 2 years, porch pirates, since Amazon really took off big time, and you know, they drop off the packages on your porch and people wait to see if anybody's home, and then they run by and they swoop up the package and take off. Porch pirate. They pirate the packages off of your porch. Well, in Detroit, Michigan, porch pirating was taken to an entirely different level recently. India Gardner is a woman who works at the Chrysler plant in Detroit building trucks. And she went to work last Saturday, pulled her shift, left work, stopped at a couple of places, did her errands, and then went home. She gets out of her truck, walks to the front of her home, and as is the case with most of us that have or have ever lived somewhere where you have stairs in front of the house, you know where the stairs are, and by simple muscle memory, you automatically step up for the first step. Well, India Gardner almost tripped because she picked her foot up, went for the step, and there's nothing there. Lo and behold, the porch pirates stole India Gardner's entire porch. They didn't take the packages. They took the whole freaking porch. Now, obviously, someone knew she was going to be away at work all day. Because, I mean, you don't go and detach the whole freaking porch off the front of someone's house just randomly or on a whim. That was a nice porch, which leads me to believe, after telling Alan about this story, he immediately said, and this, ironically, goes back to what we talked about in the last segment. It took Alan all of 5 seconds after me telling him about this story to say, you know what that sounds like to me? I said, no. He said, that's an ex. That's a former spouse. And I started thinking about it. I paid for that porch. I built that porch. I want it back. I don't live here anymore. You're not keeping my porch. I want it back. Home Skillet showed up probably with his crew, couple of trucks, dismantled and stole the whole freaking porch. What's interesting to me, I mean, aside from the nature of the story itself, apparently everyone else in the immediate proximity of her home must have been at work, because you don't steal a porch without making a whole lot of noise. And if you're like me, and maybe this is my fault, maybe this is just who I am, if I hear all kind of hammering and banging and trucks and people outside, I'm gonna come take a look. If it's my neighbor and I see you're dismantling the porch, if I'm a decent neighbor, then I've noticed whether or not, as time has gone by, whether your porch is in a serious state of disrepair. So I'm going to ask the person leading this enterprise, oh, Miss Mary having a porch replaced, huh? About time. Yeah, that rail's kind of rickety. I've been worrying about her falling. Every time she comes in and out, she grabs the rail. I see it, wiggle a little bit. I've been telling her, Miss Mary, you might need to get that checked. Nobody knows anything. The entire porch gone. Now, if Alan is right, that's an X. I paid for that material. I built that sucker. I'm taking it with me. And this is who you want to interview about whether or not I should have the right to defend myself with a firearm? Just saying. Just saying. Final wacky story for the day. Speaking of things that have become a part of the American lexicon, Florida man. We've all heard a story about some guy from Florida that has a hold my beer, bruh moment. Those kind of guys, Florida guys. Well, this one comes out of Pasco County, Florida. Port Richey. Just so happens I've been there. This guy left little doubt at all that he truly is a Florida man. 22-year-old Matthew Latham, arrested Sunday morning after repeatedly calling 911 to find a ride home. The episode started with young Mr. Latham calling 911 saying, "I need a ride home." And of course the dispatcher said, "Sorry, sir, we're not in that business. You can't use the 911 system that way." All right, so he hung up and he takes off walking. Short distance later, he got tired. He called 911 again. "I need a ride home." So this time, they send out a black and white to talk to young Mr. Latham. Officer arrives on the scene, offers to call him a taxi. "I ain't got no money." Takes off, walking again. Calls 911 again. At which point, he's now eligible for abuse of the 911 system. So they arrest him. They cuff him, and while patting him down, oh, big old bag of weed. Okay. Don't worry about a ride home. You ain't going home. Oh, and did I mention, in the middle of his forehead, about this wide, is a big old tattoo of the state of Florida. Dude is literally Florida man. You can't make this stuff up. My time's up, y'all, and I gotta go. But this day, just like any other, I give it to you. You're right. America, we are far from perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's still the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize by now that he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Really doesn't matter though, because there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you soon. God bless.